Hi, this is Bill Brokaw with the Photographers Group, and I'm going to show you two ways to geotag your photos. The first way is using Adobe Lightroom. And as you can see, I'm in the library module. I've already added two photos, and these are right out of my camera. These are Olympus RAW files. And if we look at this first one, this is a railroad bridge over a creek. As you can see, it doesn't really have much in the way of metadata. So I know where I took this photo, and now my challenge is to find it on a map. So I'm going to go to the map module, and as you can see, it brings up an aerial photograph. And I took this photo in an area called Lansdowne. So I'm going to search that and see if I can find that. Lansdowne. And it does. It zoomed right into it. So I'm going to zoom in a little further to see if I can find this bridge. Well, there's the railroad, and the closer I get, there's the railroad bridge right there. And it's over the Capulong Creek. So to geotag the photo, all it is a matter of dragging it right on to the map. And if you look over on the right-hand side in the right panel, you can see that right now there's no metadata. There's no location or city or GPS coordinates. When I drag the photo onto the aerial, I get a paddle. The paddle turns orange, and now I actually have GPS coordinates. So now I've geotagged this photo, and I could type in Lansdowne, right? So that way we know where it is. There's a little bit of extra location information, and that's in Hunterdon. Hunterdon County. So the photo that's in Lightroom has coordinates, but I have to export it in order to have those coordinates be written into the metadata of the photo. So I'm going to go to Library, and I'm going to export this photo. So I'm going to go to Export. And that brings up the export dialog window. And the first thing I do is choose where I'm going to put the photo. So I'm going to put that in my desktop under Bridges. And I also want to rename it. So I'm going to go to the file naming, and I'm going to edit what was in there. And that was the last photo I did. So I'm going to take that out and put in Railroad Bridge Lansdowne Capulong Creek. Did I spell that right? I hope so. And then I hit done. So the file format is JPEG. And I'm going to resize this to be 3600 pixels at 300 dpi. And I hit export, and that will export right into my folder, and there's the file. And for the online method, I have to use a JPEG. It won't let me use RAW files. So I'm going to geotag this photo, this bridge photo. And to get a JPEG, I'm just going to export this as a JPEG into the same folder without renaming it. Alright, so now I have a JPEG. So now I'm going to switch over to my internet browser, Google Chrome. And I'm going to Google geotag photos. And there's a very popular tool called GeoImgr, GeoImager, that I like to use, and it happens to come up first when I Google it. So I'm just going to click on it. And you can see it brings up an interface with a map on one side that's grayed out and a place to put the photos on the other. So this is where I want to put my photos. And I go back to my desktop. And I find photos, the bridge photos. There they are. And you notice I can't bring in the raw files. They're grayed out. So this one's not grayed out. That's a JPEG. That's that bridge that we made, that iron bridge. So I'll bring that in. And as it's loading, you can notice that the map already turned from gray into a colored map with all the countries. Now I would search for this area, but this is not a paid version, so I can't search by typing into the search box. I just have to kind of scroll in and figure out where this is. So I'm going to zoom in. I know this is near Clinton. And there's the Kupalong Creek. And there's our railroad bridge. And this is that iron bridge right here. We're going right over the creek. It's an iron bridge F82. So I'm going to click here. And the paddle shows up. And if I look right below the map, this is where I have the opportunity to write the coordinates into it. So I'm going to write EXIF tag. I'm going to push this button. And now the photo's tagged. And it says right up on top, photo tag. So the next step is I have to download this. So now it's downloaded into my download folder. So I'll open that up. And there's the photo. And let's take a look at the file location. So it has the same name as the original photo. So I think I'm going to want to change the name before I put it in back into the folder, because otherwise there'll be a conflict. So I'll put my name, and I'll call it Iron Bridge F82. Lansdowne. And now I'll copy this into where I keep my photos. Right on the desktop, photos, bridges, and paste. So now I have 2 geotagged photos. Now let's jump back to Lightroom. And if we look here, this is the original photo. And if we go over to map, this photo does not have any coordinates, and it doesn't show up on the map. But if I bring in that photo that I just geotagged, and I'll import it, I go to bridges, and this is the photo right here. I bring that in, and it's selected. So if we look at all the photos we have in, so that's the original. This is the one I just downloaded after geotagging it. Let's go to map. And you can see now there's a paddle that shows where the photo is located, and it has GPS coordinates. So those are 2 ways to geotag your photos. So they'll have GPS coordinates written into the metadata. And I hope you found this helpful. It's a good thing to do.